How you doing, everybody? Thanks for stopping by and joining us today for another Rollin' Over the Hill right here on the Live to Roll channel. And thanks to all of you for being part of the Live to Roll family. Before we get started, I'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals. They're a great and helpful group of experts that are very much part of our community and can help you with all your mobility and rehab equipment as well as your catheter needs. So a big thanks to them for sponsoring Live to Roll. Joining us today are friends from the Live to Roll family are Paul Gustafson and Chad Smukes. They'll be hanging out with us. We'll be talking about emergency preparedness and whatever else comes to mind. So please make sure to include your questions, comments, and views in the chat. And don't forget to hit that like button. How you doing, everybody? I'm Robert Soto. I'm a T12 spinal cord injury from a motorcycle racing accident back in 1974. So in a couple of months, I'll be 51 years in the chair and 71 years old. So I'm rolling over the hill. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So before we get to the chit chat, let's bring on Bobby, my co-host. How you doing, Bobby?
Hey, I'm doing great. You're kind of outnumbered here today, Robert, because we got
Yeah.
six
Yeah.
quads here ready to pounce on you. And
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
The way my arms and shoulders are nowadays, I'm learning from you guys, man.
Oh, I know it's great watching Robert. We went to a football
Oh,
game and watching him hold a beer and then put it down. He looks like a quad because he's like,
I
oh,
don't have any rotation. There's no rotation, man.
no,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, he's a quad now.
Well, because
So
I think we took a picture and we're all holding our drinks, and you see mine. I go, well, you can tell my shoulders just straight out like that, holding the drink. As long as I
yeah,
can still drink it, though.
it's pretty classic. But sorry we're a little bit late. We are having a very shitty conversation just before you. And boy, Chad just had us in a bundles there, so I won't give away any big details. But if you want to get slippery before wet, let's move it over to I'm Bobby Rohan. I'm a C56 quadriplegic, and I'm going to pass it over to my buddy from the far north there. Hey, bring it on,
Hey,
Paul.
I'm Paul, C56 squad as well, 40 years in a chair. Living in the Great White North, loving it, living the dream.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. When it was minus 36
I
Celsius
just,
the other.
I just drove home. It's snowing like crazy. It drove home
Oh
in
my!
snowstorms just now.
I thought you had
But
a
it's not
heat
cold, it's not windy. It's beautiful.
Jeez.
Wow.
Well, thanks for joining us, Paul. And then down to my southeast friend there in San Antonio.
San
I
Antonio.
but
Yeah.
I'll be heading his way soon. Hopefully, we'll meet in person. But I give it to my buddy from chairlife.com, Mr. Chad Snoot.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Smukes, C56 quadriplegic in a diving accident 30 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, I
Living
thought I
over
was
the
so I thought I was the youngest here on disability, but so you're 5 years younger than me. You just hit 30.
I just hit 29, going on 30.
When's your
29.
Wow, man.
when's your life date?
Let's see. I don't really keep a whole lot of track of that, but it's June 23rd, I think it is.
Okay, yeah, you're 29 and a half. You got
Yeah.
6 more months or
What,
less.
what do we have combined years of what 150 or something like that here?
It's called too many. It's
Wow.
like
Yeah, yeah, that's what
if
it
we
is. Too
combine
many,
it, I
man.
don't even think the West was won yet or something. Whatever.
That's a lot of years, man.
Too many. So hey, uh, this is kind of open topic. I know we had something in mind, because once again here in the Los Angeles area, we're being hit by those wildfires. So it's pretty scary. And I think I saw on the other day for new mobility, one of somebody put out that there was somebody affected who's a wheelchair user, and it was nobody I knew or anything like that, because people have been asking me, well, if you're not affected, do you know anybody? And I haven't heard of anybody in our area. And knock on wood, because we got another rager going on in a pretty popular area of Santa Cruz, where actually even our good friends from Triumph Foundation are. But so hopefully they're safe and sound. I haven't heard or texted anybody to
Yeah.
see. But,
Yeah.
you think about how fast these fires have come through. And if anybody watched the news with the Eaton fire, it came in fast. And it came in fast to where people had to just leave the house. And, we talk about, being prepared for these kind of things, because not only that LA is hit with these fires, but I just witnessed that New Orleans had snow. The Carolinas had snow. I mean, you're thinking North Carolina, South Carolina, the most beautiful beaches, almost in the world. And boom, there's snow on the ground. And
Yeah.
usually, you don't have to leave your house when there's snow, but the power can go out, right? And things, you know, come at a standstill. How do you get by when we're disabled? How do you stay warm? Uh, how do you function? Especially if it's a fire, earthquake, flood. If you got to leave your house in an instant, are you prepared? And what does it take to get prepared? What are your thoughts, Robert?
Well, I know for me, I was kind of thinking about it because I mean, I think you have time to do what you need to do, get what you need. But I saw the way some of the stories were being told on the news that these people just had to get out. They tried to grab a couple things and that's it. So I was thinking about what I would do, and I have a drawer of medications because I take a fair amount of medication. So that'd be just emptying the drawer into a backpack or something. I'd have to have extra catheters, for that. It's I don't have anything, to be honest with you, prepared like I need to. I know where things are at because before at one time they used to say, "Oh yeah, you need all this paperwork," but most of my stuff now is all online, and I have
True.
access to files and things like that. So I'm not worried about trying to get a deed and all this stuff or whatever it used to be. Um, so it's mostly like medical stuff for me. I mean, in terms of food, getting out, you can find food later, but it's the catheters. It's all the specialty things that we need as spinal cord injuries, and whatever else you guys may need and what I need. And I don't know. I need to be prepared. And I say that every once in a while when there's these disasters out here, you go, okay, well, I got to get it together, and I don't do it. So I'm guilty of that. And um,
And you kind of live
it's
in an area that can engulf in within seconds,
oh
right?
yeah,
I mean, you're in a
yeah.
hilly
I'm in a
area.
fire zone. Yeah,
You're in a
I'm
fire
I'm in a
zone.
fire zone, and yeah, and there's been fires. They haven't come too close to my house, but close enough where I can be in the backyard and look a street over, and it's like burning up.
Wow.
Because the thing is the insurance, because there's a lot of insurance companies that are pulling out and canceling people. Fortunately, knock on wood, my insurance company just raises my rates each year. But heck, what can you do? You got to do it. But the thing too
Mhm.
is with Southern California, we're so populated, especially in some of these neighborhoods like Palisades. Those houses, they're nice big homes right next to each other. So
Boom, boom, boom.
there's no, yeah, it's just one after another, like dominoes, just burning down. But
Yeah,
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of thinking about being prepared, but I'm not.
yeah. Before we get to Paul, because Paul has the other side of what's going on in our country, in the U.S., with being extreme cold. How about you, Chad? I mean, give us your thoughts. What kind of area are you in? Have you ever had to think that way? I mean, and we think, not only, over here, we're thinking brush fire, but any house can catch on fire. I mean, we can have something plugged in that just goes faulty, and then your
Yeah.
house is on fire, or especially every year we get a real Christmas tree. And um, I'm always a little nervous, having, something that can burn in a split second. So, but Chad, not to digress, but Um, talk about your situation, your area. What have you done in a
Yeah,
family to protect?
we had snow over here 2 days ago. We get snow about every 4 years, and it's my office is outside I've got a external office, so it's away from the house. Um, but getting out here, to the office was a bear. We had about 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Hmm.
But yeah, just a little bit different. That we don't get a lot of emergency type stuff. We get, or at least where I'm at. Down south, they get hurricanes, and we may get a little bit of rain here and there, but I'm not in a flood area. Um, but then, like you mentioned, just a general fire. I was out here yesterday, and a girlfriend of mine was here, and she was hot here in the office, and I couldn't turn my heater off. The heater wouldn't go off, and so I told her, I said, just grab the plug and unplug it. And she reached over and pulled the plug out, and the plug was super hot. And she's
Hmm.
like, "This plug is super hot." I don't unplug it, and I couldn't feel it if I did unplug it. Um, but it made me think, I mean, hell, the office could burn down or the house could burn down. What do you do? Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I'm not really prepared. If the house was to burn, I might be left and burn up. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, one of my family members would grab me and get me out. But uh, I had listened to one of the shows that Shawn had a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about the similar topic. And one of the guys mentioned how they have a bag ready, just a ready bag to go in case anything ever happens. And they always leave their bag. They always leave that bag packed so that they can grab it and go if need be. Which is, I thought that was a great idea. I do have a situation like that with my catheters. I have a cath bag, a travel cath bag that I keep in the van all the time. Um, but as far as any type of medications or anything like that, no, I'm not really prepared. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely something to wonder about, and
Yeah.
prepare for.
Definitely.
Have a
Definitely. What's that, Chad?
to have definitely have a plan for, or think about it for sure.
Mhm.
What I
Yeah.
do is
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. How
Make
you?
sure at
Fires are
least
scary.
make sure somebody would come get me out. A couple of years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
my family goes away once a year for a month, and I'm here left alone. And a couple of years ago, the power went out, and I was stuck flat in the bed. I have a bed where the head will come up, and um, it's not a hospital bed, but it's a queen size bed that the head will come up. Um, and the power went out, and I was stuck flat in that bed, and the power had
Oh,
gone out.
yeah. I
Uh,
didn't think about.
Oh man.
and that was scary as hell. That really caused me some just some stress that I really never got over. I was stuck laying in that bed, and you know how we get when we can't cough, and I can really get in my head, and I wasn't able to cough, and just felt like I was couldn't breathe, and I couldn't get to my phone, and I was just stuck there, reliant on hopefully whoever was going to show up in the morning with one of these assistants that I have, and that in itself is a crapshoot, or it can be. So thank goodness one of my neighbors came over, and during her power went out too, and she came over just by chance to check on me, and yeah, she was able to get in the house. I had a key stashed outside, and she was able to get in and sit me up, put something behind my back, and then I was okay
Yeah.
until the morning. But yeah, that particular incident scared me, really, really frightened me to the point where now when I'm left in the bed, it and not be able to sit up, it really kind of freaks me out. But what I did after that is I got this like battery backup that the bed would plug into. So kind of like a computer backup battery kind of thing.
Yeah.
If the power goes out, and so then I still have the bed operational. Um, so if
Yes.
that ever happened again, so we live and learn, I guess. But thank goodness I didn't die in this situation. But
Yeah, definitely share it. Maybe we can share it on our at the end of Shawn can put it in our description of this, and love to know. Yeah, because I'm like you. I have a nice non-hospital bed, but the head does lift up and down, and if I was without it, it would suck. And
oh man, I mean, can you roll over onto your side and get yourself up into sitting position?
uh, yeah, it was better when I was younger, but if I
Yeah,
really needed
Yeah,
to, I
yeah.
can. And
yeah,
not that I think if I was in your position, when panic that you had a panic attack is basically
yes,
what we're having, and when we have panic attacks, no, we're paralyzed. You thought you were paralyzed now, but panic attacks, can leave us really paralyzed. So I know when I'm having one of those, it's no, I'm struggling, and it would be hard.
well, y'all talked about it the last show or something, but in reference to the cold season and the flu, I had that going on a couple of weeks ago, and man, just couldn't breathe. And same kind of deal, I'd just rather be in the wheelchair and up and being able to throw myself forward, and yeah, but that all goes back to that panic attack that I originally had many years back, being stuck. That it yeah, freaks
Yeah.
me out. Yeah, so no, I'm not prepared for an emergency, but we learn as we go. So hopefully I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
the process.
Yeah. We got our other co-hosts. Welcome in, Luis. Thanks for joining us. Looks like your beard
Louise,
is getting long. We're gonna get to you after we get to Paul about we talk about extreme cold and as being somewhat a problem. And Paul, we know the far north there, and the greater northwest, west, east, north, whatever you want to call it. You're a little chilly out there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
something
it
people
is.
have been learning in our exercise group that they're like, Paul, you does like that family like just stay in and everybody just you know maybe start kissing and hugging one another because they're going to kiss their ass goodbye because it's minus 36 Celsius, people. um
Fallacy.
no, he's like, no, we go on about our day. Tell us
It was
about
minus 50 with the wind chill there that one day for a couple of days, I guess. And yeah, you can get the car going and away you go. Just keep moving forward. But back to what Chad was saying with the bed and stuff, and you, Bobby. I mean, that battery backup, that's a great idea for a bed because I just get claustrophobic if I get in a situation like that. Even if I have too many covers on or something, I can't get them off. But that battery backup, that's a great idea because I've got a bed that does that as well. And thinking back about the idea of um, trying to get out or being able to get out of the house quickly. If we're stuck in bed, that's very difficult especially for somebody who's a quad. Um, what I did way back when we built our houses, we put in a door in the bedroom that went out to the deck so that if there was something like a fire in the house, there was another way out. There was call it an escape route, call it whatever. We rarely ever use that door just to use it because it was put in there as more of an emergency thing. So little things like that can be very, very helpful when you're in that kind of a situation. And I love that battery backup idea on the bed. I want to know what you got there because I want to go get one of those. Not that we have that situation very often, but it can happen. And thinking about the cold, like when it was so cold, I was having that conversation with my wife the other day. It's like if our power went out and so we got electrical power and then we got gas for the furnace. And if the gas went out or even the power went out because the power runs the fan for the furnace, it would get really cold in here really, really fast. And when it's that type of temperature, um, you freeze to death. And people up here, every year, somebody dies because of exposure. And not somebody with a disability, just somebody dies because of exposure. They get stuck outside, whatever situation. Um,
Drunk.
I mean, just last week here, under one of our bridges that goes over the river, there was a fire. I haven't heard the details, but I'm sure it was homeless people started a fire under the bridge because that's where they go to try to stay warm, and they'll start a fire, and it started the bridge on fire. Um, it's dangerous, dangerous weather. You talk about things that are kind of dangerous in the world, and I was on the workout group the other day. I was thinking, I think I'd rather live in an area where there's an earthquake than where there's just kind of cold and you can step outside and die. You just walk outside and die. It's like, this is insane.
I
But
know
things that
one of the funniest quote I heard from old man in North Carolina. We went to his house, and his house had, recently just been rebuilt about 4 years earlier. And he said,
Sorry, baby.
Shawn, we can hear you, just FYI. Um, he said, I don't know about you guys in California with all them earthquakes. And I'm sitting here looking at his brand new house, 4 years old. That was, the original house taken by the second time by a hurricane. I'm like, really? I haven't lost a house in California because of earthquake. I've had damage, yes, but not completely wiped off the map. So I don't know about you, but I'll take my chances with the earthquake.
and I'm starting to think that way too. I think the chances of the earthquake might be better than some of the snow.
Then that snow and the
minus bazillion degrees outside.
Yeah.
But for emergency stuff, I mean, I'm not prepared either. Like you guys said, I really don't have anything in my home. I've got everything in my home, but I don't have anything put together if I had to leave quick. Traveling in the I
Just
mean, we'd have to
start
travel.
driving maybe to your folks' house that are south from you.
Yeah, even that wouldn't make much difference because I'm sure it wouldn't be much warmer down there. I mean, yeah, they're 4 hours south, but they're still in the zone, the cold zone. Might be a little less snow, but things like having stuff in the vehicle. So having warm clothes in the vehicle, um, having a charged cell phone, so that if you do get stuck on the road, it's more the stuck on the road thing that's dangerous if you're traveling around here. So just being prepared that.
And maybe even just prepared for inside your house, your power goes out, so you don't have the use of your gas stove because of the fan, but to have some electric battery charged items, electric or battery charged blanket, to what we see now on Amazon. You can get the jackets and the hand warmers. And I mean, it's not going to last you long, but if you have some backup battery packs, something what Chad, you mentioned, maybe it work if to plug in those items to recharge, to stay warm, especially for us quads.
And lots of people around here, they have generators set up. So like an actual gas powered generator that will provide power and heat to their home for, well, as long as you have gas in the thing, it'll keep it running. So that's quite common, particularly in some of the rural areas.
And you got to remember, and the one thing, we went and got a gas generator after our Northridge earthquake because I was on a breathing treatment. And it's funny, you get a generator, but then my dad's sucking out of my car and his car of gas, because you can't just go to the local gas station because they're all electric, right? Those pumps are run through electric. Finally he had to drive to the next county that finally had power, which was, at that time about an hour away. But, so, it just, you got to be prepared with those tanks of gas too. Luis, you had your hand up, and welcome in.
Yeah, I was going to chime in with Paul there. I used to live a couple hours from Paul, and we avoided electric battery packs for gloves and stuff like that. We went with chemical based. It was a little snap pack, and you would crack it, snap it, and slip that in your glove, and you didn't have to
Hot
worry
shot.
about batteries.
Yeah, we call them hot shots, or that was
Yeah.
the brand name. I don't know if
Yeah.
hot shots.
Yeah,
So
they were great.
the battery powered, like the heated jackets. So I got one the other day to try. I ordered one. I got it just after Christmas Day, and I tried it the other day. They're not that warm. You know, maybe in a climate like Bobby, where you guys are down there, you know, where it gets semi-cool. Even Chad, where you are, when it was like, I'm sure it's not that much below freezing,
No.
but if it gets, you know, they kind of keep you a little warm. All I could feel it was a little bit on my neck and a little bit on my shoulders, and it was supposed to be in the body too, but I can't feel anything. I sent it back. I think they're a great concept, but I don't think they're really developed for a lot
Paul,
of heat yet.
how cold is it how cold is it like right now? Like tonight, how cold is it going to be?
Right now, well, it's actually not bad right now. We're at -6 Celsius. So let me just convert that.
Yeah,
I should have a paper here.
I think it's like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, it's really not bad.
that's cold enough.
21.
Forget it.
It's 21 right now.
It's
But
21.
the other day, like when Bobby was saying -36 Celsius, and that was the actual temperature. The wind chill was -50, which is actually -56 Fahrenheit.
God, I
But
don't
that
know
was
how
the
you.
wind chill. The actual
That's
temperature of
crazy,
-30
man. That,
Wow.
is
that's crazy
-30.
cold.
Yeah,
The
and that's
the coldest it got here was a couple of days ago, and it was like 27 or 20. Yeah, 25, I think. God, it was.
yeah.
But that was
Where
a
do you
So
live?
right
warm.
now we're -6 right now, and there's no wind. So this is a great day
That's
for kids to
cold.
go outside.
That's
Well, as a
cold,
father,
man.
I'm going to carry that. No, forget it. I don't want to go outside. But guys that go snowmobiling, they love this. This is like the perfect temperature.
Well, yeah, when
Because
there's no wind.
they get
And they
hot
can
if
move
it's too
their
hot.
body.
Yeah, and they can move their body. And that's right. Well, so there's a guy up here. He's a para, and he used to be a competitive
That doesn't count. That doesn't count anyway. So
snowmobile racer. But he's a para. Well, I ran into him earlier right when we first got snow there in November. I was talking to him, and he was so excited because of the snow, because he still snowmobiles as a para, and he runs quads and side by sides, and he's just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, that's how he broke his neck, was doing snowcross.
you mean
He
his
was
back?
or his back. That
Yeah.
broke his back in snowcross. I mean, he was Blair Morgan is his name. And if you look him up, you'll see all kinds of stuff about him. But yeah, he still does that stuff. So he loves this kind of weather. I mean, he lives north of me. He's like an hour and a half north of me, and he's out in the country all over the place.
Is he up in
Well, actually,
Edmonton?
no, Prince Albert, and then he's actually down in the States lots because he's working
Yeah,
on a snowmobile.
I
So they
have a
do.
question about snowmobiling. Is it true up there, as I heard in Buffalo, New York, from a therapist who lived and grew up, and she was an ice skater, but she said, yeah, it's been known that snowmobile riders will get their heads chopped off by the power lines because of the snow drifts, and they don't see the power lines. Is that true? Does that happen there in Saskatoon?
In Saskatoon. I have never heard that happen, and but so you got it's the guide wires that come down from the snow poles, or it's fences. Fences are worse. So I know guys that have gotten cut really bad by a fence that have gone through it. Actually, a buddy of mine that we went to school together, he got it just below his neck, and he got cut really bad. But it'll pull you off the machine before it decapitates you.
Yeah.
Right? But not lots of people get killed on them though. I mean,
Yeah.
these new snow machines, when I went snowmobiling before I was hurt, I mean,
They
yeah,
were
you could go,
loud.
well,
They
they
were
were, and you could go 60 miles an hour, but they were rough. But these new ones now with the suspension and the power they have, like you're going down the highway and they're in the ditch and they're passing you on snow machines. Like they're passing you like you're not moving. So you're cruising on the highway at 60, 70 miles an hour and they go whipping by you. They're going like 90 miles an hour. They hit something.
Sounds
They hit a little,
fun.
if they hit a little
Did you
bump or
have,
something, woo.
Luis, did you have something to say about the snowmobile when I said heads roll off?
Yeah, I used to ride Kawasaki snowmobiles. Everyone thinks they're all ski-doos and Polaris. You know,
Snowjet.
especially if you're up in Canada, a lot of Polaris up there. But here in the States, we've got a lot of Yamaha, Kawasaki,
I
a
don't think
few
Kawasaki
Hondas.
was it a Snowjet that you were on? Kawasaki
Come again?
Snowjet? A Kawasaki Snowjet?
It was
That's what.
old enough. It was still green and white.
Oh, back
It
in
was
the old days.
it was the
Yeah,
old one.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that's my buddies had those. They had Kawasaki's.
so we went around and we talked about what we need, right? Or what
What we
can happen.
need, yeah,
No,
what we need to do,
what do we need to do? That exactly
yeah,
what I should have said. What do we need to do? And how to be prepared? What strategies? And we've talked about it on this show many times. And Shawn and Tom recently brought this up, but it's always good to refresh because we went around and all of us are saying we're lacking, right? We're just
yeah,
simply
yeah,
lacking. I got something in my van, but the way when my wife asked me today about what's going on in the show, and I told her, and she's like, "Yeah, we really need to get your bag out, my bag, and stuff it with some new medication."
yeah,
Probably there's
yeah,
none in there. I'm pretty sure there's none because at some time point we've gone out to there because we were low and took from those items. What did we take? I know we never, and maybe get some fresh new gear,
yeah,
shoes that
yeah,
I can look
exactly.
at. And, yeah, because if my house goes on fire, we have talked about
What
what I would do is have my wife get all the blankets and put them on the floor down by my bedside, and I would get onto it, and she would just drag me out. It's going to be
Yeah,
a lot quicker to drag me out before I get in some underwear and something decent, so I'm not freezing outside in the cold. Um, to get out there first, let's get bodies out first because that's the most important.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea, just to get on a blanket like that and go.
yeah,
That's
that is a good idea. Well, I know exactly by what you're saying because I have a backpack in my van, and it's just stuff that's I got some pill boxes in there with pills I put in there for a week. But I don't know how old they are now. They're probably been in there expired and
Right.
all that. I mean, I do have catheters, but I don't know if I have enough. I mean, I have enough for a couple days if I needed it or whatever. But
And
I
that's
haven't. I haven't.
in some
Go
ways
ahead.
that's all you need too, Robert. Not to cut you off, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need about 2 to 3 because one thing I heard with everything going on is Red Cross will come in and this is it. Red Cross can fall short, so you should rely on it. But you also have many
yeah,
friends within surrounding areas
Yeah.
that can get you
yeah,
shit. But Red Cross will first come in and assess your needs. First, they're going to go through what meds do you need today. So because the average people do not prepare, but
right.
it is also great for us to prepare because we don't have the items you can just go down to Walmart and pick them up unless your
Yeah,
doctor and your insurance can wake the fuck up and get on this stuff like pronto.
Yeah.
So
We're so
what thinking about what are the days do we need for medication, clothes, and everything. I put it at 3. I'll say you.
3 days. 3 days worth of supplies.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's the standard. What they always say, at least 3 days supply of water, medication, or whatever for an emergency. But Yeah, but again, you have to keep rotating it too. I mean, it's good to have medication, good to have the catheters, but how old, I know mine. I haven't looked in there for a long time. I just know that they're there, but I need to refresh. So again, I'm guilty of that. I'm not. I may have
Well,
that's as close as I'm getting to being prepared, but how old is this shit?
and one time I read in Cosmopolitan, I mean, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I read in a magazine that uh, I read in the magazine that think about it as spring cleaning, right? I mean, probably half of us do not do it anyway, but
Yeah,
spring cleaning, or even New Year's, thinking about, what New Year's resolution gonna, maybe take it upon that just to be safe and go out there um, and handle that kind of stuff and make sure that your meds are updated. The catheter isn't, shrunk into because of the sun over the summer. So or when you change your clocks, that's a good time to check. We do it
yeah,
twice a year
yeah.
for most of us, except Paul.
I don't need to do that. But
I
yeah,
was
no,
going to say here, with in addition to like we're talking about the stove stuff, having urinary stuff, extra stuff around. Uh, Here in Southern California, uh, where not where Bobby and not where Robert live, but where I live, I'm not that far from the snow. I live pretty damn close, and I keep stuff in the car, not just in the house, 2 stories of the house, but I keep stuff in the car. And I have it in there whether it's an earthquake, whether I'm up in the mountains or I could be anywhere. And I've always have stuff wherever I am.
And that's smart, Louise. It's funny, Black Olive just said, yeah, no crispy catheters. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying to avoid here. So, managing that, you got 3 day supply in your back in your car, which it's a lot of clothes, a lot of shit, but it's a big bag. And if you're like me and maybe Paul and Chad there, and now welcome to the club, Bobo. But
Yeah.
we got to, you know, there's only so much room we have back there, and a big bag starts taking it up, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And
And
for
it,
me,
and for
go ahead.
Oh, and for me, especially like I'm pretty anal. I hate that because it feels like everything's cluttered and all. So now I got stuff stuffed in the back there, and I just it just feel cluttered. So
Oh, I
Can't
know.
move your
that's where I have a problem with that, man.
Trust me, my OCD takes over. And I got this weird, stupid tank. Why they put it in there, but for my backup sensitized steering is beyond me. I didn't have it in my first 3 vans or 2 vans, whatever you call it. And all of a sudden, the day I got my van, I looked in the back. I'm like, what? Now, no tire back there, but what the is this?
Yeah, yeah,
They're like, oh, that's
yeah,
your backup system. And I'm like, yeah. I've never used it in the 13 years I've had it, but holy crap, this is bugging the shit out of me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking catheters are a big thing. That I you what is something I, I would think you'd want to have something. You want to have the things that are going to keep you alive, and the
yeah,
catheter. I've got to be able to cath.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's nothing you can go pick up at Walmart or the local drugstore. You got to have them.
and
well,
it's specific.
and Chad, think about it. There's 3 things to keep you alive: water, piss, and poo. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, you
I've
gotta have
held
the
it
stuff.
a long time though. I know I can hold that poop for a while.
Yeah.
I know I know I can
I
keep
prefer.
that. I know
Yeah,
I can keep
I
that
prefer.
with me for 5 days.
Red
Yeah.
Cross comes in. Here, we got you
Yeah,
Taco
little.
Bell. Oh no Taco Bell for me. I'm talking right here.
Oh man,
If
that's
I can
funny.
suggest it, I know I'm probably the only one here that uses guards. I don't use catheters. I use guards.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but in addition to that, those guys, those of you, the guys and gals out there that use catheters, what are you going to do? You got a 3-day supply of guards, and you're on your 5th or 6th day of an emergency. Whether it's an earthquake or a tornado, rams through town. God knows what, and you're running out of supplies. Have a bag of a bag of guards,
But
just in
we're,
case.
our point is that the catheters you can't get at the corner drugstore. The guards you can, even if you have to go to another
Yes, you
city.
can.
But
You can go to
what a
any
catheter?
Walmart and pick up uh,
I've never seen them with catheters
Not
on the shelf.
not
not
the
not
catheter.
catheters, the guards.
No,
No,
that's what
yeah, the
he's saying.
guards. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah,
what he's saying. But
pick up
also,
pick
you're
up
not
some
going to be
guards.
able to go. You're not going to be able to go sometimes to your local mart. Especially if it's your area has been damaged. So meaning, one, I got friends that will send it to me. Like let's just say Paul and I use the same catheters, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to ship them," but I don't have UPS in my area because of an
Yeah,
earthquake. Nobody's
yeah,
going to
right.
drop off. Where so that's the thing. And so even for you, Luis, like, damn, I'm out of guards. My local Walmart or Walgreens is not open because we just had something come through that is disaster. And yes, you can go driving, but depending on the certain
Yeah,
situations, it might not be safe to
yeah,
drive. Like even Paul,
Yeah,
I just said, "Oh, go to your mom and dad's," but no, the roads when it's probably snowy like
yeah.
that is
Oh, yeah,
the worst choice to do.
yeah.
I always have a 2-month supply in the house at all times.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah. And I try to, just on a daily basis, when I'm out and about, I have a 4-day supply of changing my colostomy,
Yeah.
and that's an emergent. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
called cold code brown emergency, just
Right.
whenever. And
So
to those that don't use colostomy, trust me, having a code brown up here situation, because you can contain it, it's easier to clean. It's much easier to manage than your whole cushion, backrest,
Yeah,
t-shirt,
yeah,
back of your
yeah,
neck when you take off that t-shirt if you didn't cut it off.
yeah. That's right. Oh man.
Oh, colostomy.
hey Bobby, on that coloscopy bag, can you, if you had to, could you squeeze it out of there and then reuse the bag?
I think you can. Just
Can
clean
you
it
put it?
out.
It'd be
If you
decent.
had to, I mean, you were in dire straits.
Yeah, if I was in dire strait, could it happen? Yes.
Yeah,
Would it be so gross? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But it is possible. You're right. I
yeah,
mean, there would be poo and puke at the same,
yeah.
little area of, of whoever's going to have to do it because I would and wash it out. Yeah. And my daughter has an ileostomy, and it's one that you can wash out, and it is the grossest thing to do, but it is possible. And so that is a good valid point. Um,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot, and one thing I want to get to because Luis popped on finally. Um, he's got a long
Time to
beard there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the beard's getting pretty long.
We kind of got low numbers, and Olivia, you've already donated $80, so I believe
Yeah.
towards getting Luis's beard shaved off, and we need to get that itchy Santa Claus look because now it's the end of January.
this
So
has
Uh,
are you
got to
ready for it?
go.
Are you
so,
ready for it to shave it off?
are you ready to shave it off here today?
Not today.
All right, we're going to do it later. So join us, and maybe next week we can do it. And we got $180, and we just need another
$20.
what is that? $70.
150. You going for 250 or 200?
250. I thought we were going for 250.
250.
Yeah,
And
250 we're shooting for.
we have
Are
an
you
extra Thursday.
the mustache too, or no?
Are you
The
doing
whole
the
shaboom.
Shaboom? Okay. We have an extra show next Thursday. Maybe Shawn,
Yeah,
we
that's
can
right.
put
There you go.
together,
Okay.
and we get on and we shave that nasty bitch off.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a professional is gonna shave this thing off.
All right, you join us at your barber and go to one that you can
Well,
get on.
your mom's going to do it, right?
Yeah, right here at
Luis?
the house.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, there you go. Perfect.
My mom has a beauty salon built into the garage,
Ooh.
so
Can I
we can
come?
hook up. You
Can I
can
get my
come to
nails
my
done at the
place,
same
hook up to the internet. We can
time?
set up multiple cameras
There you go.
and
Can
do
I
it
get
all
my
right in the garage.
Can I get my nails done at the same time?
She doesn't do nails,
Oh man,
No, man, not a manicurist.
but
I don't
but
have
if
a hairdo.
actually she also has a an accessible barber's chair.
What
So
makes
uh,
what's that? What makes that?
it's a it's one of the old style barber chairs that's oil and pneumatic, and it goes up and down.
Oh
So
yeah.
you can roll right up to it, and then it'll take you up or down, whatever you need, and adjust so that you can
So
see yourself in the mirror.
I do go to this barbershop every once in a blue moon that does the old fashioned, straight
Oh yeah, the
razor,
razor.
Yeah,
and I love it because technically they can't serve beer. I mean, sell beer, but they'll give you a beer. So people bring
yeah,
Yeah.
in, like a 20 pack of PBR all the time. And then so their fridge is always stocked. And when you go in, they're like, yeah, it's going to be about another 20 minutes. You want a beer? I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Just long as the barber's not having any with you
yeah,
with
yeah,
that straight razor.
straight razor. And then the guys are so cool because it's all guys. They'll lift me, a 2-man lift, and they'll pop me up on the chair. And it is the old style. I don't know, and it goes that low, but I still couldn't transfer into that.
Yeah.
And they'll do my face, they'll do my head, and it is so awesome. And as they're doing it, I can still sip on my beer. It's got a cup holder and everything. It is the
Yeah.
coolest thing. So treat
That's pretty
yourself
cool.
if you've never done that.
Wow.
Find that
yeah.
old school barber shop, man.
Yeah,
We have several disabled people who come here to the house because of mom's chair.
nice.
And plus she's been styling as old as I am.
Wow.
So she's been a stylist for about 60 years.
Oh,
So she knows what she's doing.
Awesome.
And we have all the
Well, that'll be good.
equipment.
That'll be good then to do it live this
And the
way.
router's right there, right on the barber station there.
Well, Shawn lives right around the corner. We might have to talk or something, but it's
Yeah.
getting about time. We were a few minutes late, so but I don't want to keep Shawn too long. Robert, you want to do our sponsors real quick, please?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's take this time out right now to thank our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. They're, like I said earlier, they're a great and helpful group of experts that are pretty much part of the family and have the best durable medical equipment along with excellent customer service, and they are available to assist you. Mobility Professionals serves the Southern California area, so if you're in need of any equipment, DME equipment, check them out. Their sister company, Urology Professionals, can help you with your catheter needs. They service nationally, so wherever you're at in the U.S. And in need of catheters, give them a call. Urology Professionals.
Yeah, please do. They're awesome
Yeah,
group of people, and I know we preach it, so hopefully you can use it.
yeah.
And then also, don't forget to come back. Tom was in the chat. He said, "Looking good, fellas. Thanks for all the informative conversation." But hopefully, Tom is back with us on Tuesday with Shawn, myself. We have Live to Roll at our normal time at 3:30. And then, like I said, the following week is going to be an extra bonus Live to Roll show. So we'll be talking with Shawn and see if we can get the rolling Live to Roll gang, maybe some mix and matches from the different shows. And Louise, we can get that Santa Claus beard shaved off you and move on. And then
And move
after
on.
first of the month, we have the girls back rolling with the golden oldies. They're on at 3 o'clock, the first Thursday of every show with Ellen, Julianne, Michelle, and Mickey. And then, like I said, we're there every 3:30, and then you can catch us again here with the boys. I think this is a good group. We might have to stick
Yeah,
with something like this,
yeah,
but
I think good
we'll
stuff.
the boys will be back, and then the following Thursday, it's always the the third and fourth Thursday. Wait,
Second
what
and
are they?
fourth.
They're only once a
Second and
month.
fourth.
No, they're only
Oh,
the third Thursday of the month. Or not really what to go with
we're gonna have
that.
to get Shawn to put something up on the screen, man.
Now,
It's much
Sean,
easier.
uh, they're real. They're real girl talk.
Yeah,
So
wheel girl talk.
yeah, our Thursday shows are at 3 o'clock. Our Tuesday shows right now. We're still waiting for our gaming shows to come back with Tom and Sarab. Hopefully, we'll get them back soon. But with that, let's go around. Some final thoughts. Being prepared. What are you going to do next? How say you? We'll start with Louise.
I've got several things that I'm working on. Um, Mostly stuff around the house here, getting a little more prepared. Um, I'm also thinking about we've got some shows coming up too. Um, Abilities Expo is only 2 months away. It's not that far away. It's going to be here in March, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
March 7th through 9th.
Yeah. So I think
Chad,
we need to keep
Chad,
that in mind.
Chad, you might have to send up some flyers of your website so we can pass those out and add a little 5% discount there.
Yeah, I'd love to get up there and see you guys.
Yeah,
It'd
we would
be
too.
great. Wish the
Where you at,
dogs would
Chad?
come this weekend, but I
Chad, where
looked at.
you at?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas,
Oh
down south,
yeah.
pretty far away. For me, Robert, it would be Bobby. It would be I'm gonna get some catheters, a box of catheters in the van, and I'm gonna have a huddle with the family and figure out how I would get out of that bed if we had a fire. Yeah, because
That's
that's a big thing.
Yeah, fire is the most thing that can occur in your home, just because any outlet, anything
Yeah,
can.
right. Anything can
Yeah.
cause it.
One time I had a direct TV in this back bedroom here, and my wife came back and goes, "Man, it is really smoky in your office." And it turned out it was the direct TV box. Of course
Wow.
they're like, "Oh, I don't know," but I found out what it really was. I did have a loose wire from the main receptacle that runs through the room, and it was just barely loose, so it was making everything hot. And imagine if we didn't discover that in the morning, and we just
Yeah, yeah.
something popped up fire at night. So,
Yeah.
I'll say you, Paul.
I'm going to get some catheters in the van for sure. Got to be careful about that stuff because it does freeze. But also look at the
Yeah.
emergency roadside kits that are in the van right now and go through them and update them. There's some food in there, like granola bars and stuff. I'm also going to do that for my daughter's cars because I don't think they have anything in their cars, and they're
Yeah.
driving further distances than I am nowadays.
Yeah, they can get in one of those
So,
snow embankments where they can't get out. Correct?
yeah.
Yeah. And it's always good to have, I think where you live, and I know if you live by water, to have a device that you can smash the window. Like it's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
pellet
Yeah.
that, and you
Yeah.
can get it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually ridiculous too because, cars going further.
Yeah.
Great.
Just one,
Paul, you keep the car plugged in the winter, right?
Mine's in the garage, but the vehicles that are outside, if it's cold enough. Right now,
where's, where's your van?
in the in the garage.
I just had to do that. I'll say you, Rob.
A.
All right. Yeah. For me, I'm saying this. Yeah, I'm gonna just make sure everything that I do have is fresh in the van. The catheters are at least fresh, and make sure my medications are current and not outdated. And I do park my van outside, so I don't have to worry about trying to get out of the garage because I have the powered electric garage door opener. So um, that's that. This way I can have access to it. In my house, in case the fire, because of my location being in the hills, um, I have like 3, 4 exits to get out, depending on where the fire is. But to get to the front of the van, where the van is at, I have like a couple exits there. So yeah, I say I'm going to do this, and so I'd like to follow up with each of us in about a month and see if we went ahead and did what we did, because I'm talking a good game right now, but you know what? I go, I'll do it, I'll get to it, and you never do. So
That's a
I
good
like
idea.
that. Let's have some
You know what?
accountability.
You know what I was thinking right now. For me personally, a lot of things, a lot of my devices here in the house are all hooked to my phone. So like my locks, I control with the phone. A lot of the lights, a lot of
yeah,
things, and so that I was trying to get out here in the office the other day, and the lock, I couldn't get the app to work. Just the backup to all these little things that we rely on
yeah,
technology
yeah.
for
All
is
the
worth
things of
it's definitely worth
yeah,
looking into. Which
yeah,
we don't go and take action. I don't, at least, until it's in my face and you
yeah,
have.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And then
I'm pushing this manual chair right now with a bad front caster. It'll only go in one direction. And so, have you had that bearing go out where you have to go
yeah,
back and get it going the right direction to get it? Oh, what a bear. That's
kind of like a
painful.
shopping cart that has that bad wheel, huh?
That's what it is. And I've known about it for hell 3 months, but I hadn't taken care of it. And
Um,
so,
no,
Yeah,
the same
Chad, I
kind of thing.
do. I went pushing the other day, a couple miles one day, and I'm like, something is wrong with my chair, man. I know it. I am slow. It feels hard to push. And so one morning I try to spin the cat. I'm like, holy cow, they are not spinning.
which is
You know,
tight.
I went to my local skate shop, brought my tools just in case, because I was going to ask them, hey, I'm sure you change skate bearings all the time. So, and they're the same thing. And, he's like, oh, we have these bearings, and then these are the top. And I'm like, keep going, buddy. Wait until they
Yeah,
spin.
yeah.
I'm like spinning and last. And he goes, all right, I got the top here. They're $40 for, a packet of 12. I'm like, sold, man. Just put them
Yeah,
in. And
really.
the first coach was like, oh my God, thank God I can move this chair.
Oh,
So,
God.
yeah, you got to have good bearings. But I was going to say something off yours is we're all old enough because we remember the movie and the book, Maximum Overdrive. Who made who? Remember? Tell me, you guys, I know that movie, Maximum Overdrive, uh, Estelio Esteban, uh, with the trucker, the clown trucker.
The guy with the blonde hair.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie, Chad?
I don't remember
Oh
the
my
movie,
God.
but I don't remember a lot. But Bobby, that's not to say much. That's all. It's not that I.
And Bobby,
So,
you remember that
I don't
stuff.
remember yet. I don't remember yesterday.
no, I remember stupid stuff. That's what I remember. But it's about how the machines took over. So we got to be careful, especially those that have emotions and smart
Yeah.
drives. So be
Well,
careful.
I have Alexa for my house all attached just because I'm lazy to get up and when I'm falling asleep or something, I have to turn the light out. But I get all pissed off when it doesn't react. I go, God, now I got to get up, and it's funny. Or it's just like waiting in front of a microwave oven and being impatient for it to cook.
I know. Have you ever done this? Alexa, turn the TV on. Hey, bitch, turn the TV on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's funny, man.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done that.
I got used to that. Like I said, it's not because I mean, it's just easier for me to do it from when I'm once because I hate getting myself ready for bed at night and you get everything together, make your transfer, you're all comfortable, go, ah, shit, I forgot to do this and that or whatever. So
You know you
yeah,
can change the voices on Alexa, right?
Oh, yeah, mine's Australian. I love
Yeah,
it.
you
She's
can
Australian.
change them around.
But that's the problem. Why I have to like. She doesn't understand my Australian voice because I don't do it.
You gotta remember your accent. Your accent, so she'll remember.
Boy, put another ship on the Barbie. Oh, that is so bad. Maybe I'll do it to Canadian because I've been hanging out with the Canadian enough times. So
There we go. Switch it to
there
Canadian.
we go. All right, I think we've
Right.
hit our full hour. And thanks for watching. For those that are joining us, those that are watching later on, put in the chat. Let us know if you're prepared, and we'll be back in a month, 2 months, and let's see if we talk a good game.
Follow up.
Yeah, what were you going to say? You were going to say something.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Take care,
Thanks,
everybody.
Paul, Chad.
See you, everybody.